Can I draw around you? Where are you going? Where are you going? You escaping? This piece is called Translating Being, and it's a woven piece that has a base cloth, very simple. There's brocading over it, which is surface decoration, but it doesn't serve anything for the structure of the cloth. I asked my daughter to make some of the decisions so that the artistic decisions were not just from my end. I asked her to choose some of the materials, the gauge of the yarn, the colors I added to the dye vat. I even gave her a paint marker to draw on the mylar before I drew her outline on it. My daughter is forming me as much as I'm forming her. She's very young right now, but in a way, it's actually quite symbiotic relationship. And at a certain point, I just realized I needed to address that and not just sort of suppress it and put it to the side as less important than reading and writing and researching. Once she's given that pen, it's a permission to do something that she didn't have access to before, and I think that's quite freeing. I was hoping to comment on simultaneous collaboration and resistance that's involved in our mother-daughter relationship. And I guess, this talks about the age-old nature versus nurture, what's inherent in our beings versus what is permeable or malleable. The weaving is a multi-step process, like a lot of other artistic processes, but I don't think most, the average person realizes how much time and math is involved. You have to plan this all out ahead of time. But once it's on the loom, there is a little room for improvisation or modification. But for the most part, you need to have certain things planned out ahead of time, otherwise it's impossible. Weaving reflects a pretty integral part of my personality. I tend to be sort of an obsessive, really good at looking at detail and sort of doing all of the mathematical processes that are involved. As much as I'm interested in exploring historical and anthropological precedents for my work, I also don't want to lose touch with what is personally compelling about both the material and what is my personal connection to these sort of abstract, cerebral elements. Ever since I can remember, I've always been attracted to textiles, their historical purpose, and their visceral quality.